Welcome back to Take Action News with David Schuster. Of course, one of the main goals of this show is to empower our listeners and our viewers to take action, to make sure that folks know all the opportunities that are out there. And one of the people that we are highlighting today who has taken action is Lizbeth Mateo. Lizbeth is one of 8 dreamers, people that came here at a young age in an unauthorized fashion in the United States, who are now living here as Americans, have lived most of their lives here. Lizbeth is one of 8 people who have essentially self-deported in an act of protest over the Obama administration's policy of deportations and the deportation policy altogether. Of course, Lizbeth right now is speaking to us from Mexico. The idea of this protest we'll talk about with her. Lizbeth is at an undisclosed location in Mexico. Lizbeth, thanks so much for joining us on Take Action News.
Thank you for having me. I don't know if you can hear me, but sorry if it's a little noisy.
We can hear you just fine. Lizbeth, first of all, tell us exactly why you went to Mexico and what point you're trying to make.
Well, I came to Mexico to meet with other young people, other dreamers like myself, who some of them have been deported and some others who left the U.S. after living there for so long because, they just couldn't go to college, they couldn't afford to go to college, so we're not, in some places they were not allowed to go to college. So they wanted so badly to pursue those dreams that they thought that coming back to Mexico was going to be sort of the answer to, all their problems. And once they were here, they realized that things are a lot more difficult, right? And they didn't feel like at home. So, like, essentially what they're trying to do is they're trying to get back home. And so I came to reunite with them and to, make sure that the people who are in the United States, those of us who have been working as a dreamer, have been working on immigrant rights issues, and that in the general public understands that we cannot forget about these young people who, who are here, who are waiting, and who are waiting in other countries to go back home.
So, Lizbeth, you basically make this point that essentially you're showing solidarity as with people that lived in the United States essentially all their lives, or the better part of their lives, feel American, and yet have been deported and want to go back home to the United States. And so you yourself are now going to be making that journey on Monday to go back home to America, to show solidarity and demonstrate what that means for people. Are you nervous at all that Homeland Security just won't let you back into the United States?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we came, Marco, Lula, myself, we came knowing that that was a possibility, that there was a strong possibility that the U.S. government will not allow us back. But we came also knowing that that's a reality that a lot of young people, a lot of dreamers, like the dreamers that that we're with right now, that we've met, that are going to go back with us, that's a reality that they face, right? So, yes, I'm nervous that that's going to happen, but I have faith in my community. I have faith that people who are, have been spreading the word about this, who have been sending us a lot of messages of support, they will do everything in their power to get us back home. And I think that we have proven in many occasions that our community forces, our community power is greater than some agents. It's greater than what some very just laws say. And so we're hopeful that we'll be able to come home. We don't know when, but yeah, definitely we'll be there.
Wow. It's it's moving. I have to. You know people. You've had close family members that have been deported, and you yourself were close to being deported. Tell us exactly what that was like, what that experience was like for you, and what the experience has been like for your close family members.
Well, I was put in deportation proceedings in 2010 after being arrested, protesting, or doing a sit-in inside Senator McCain's office, asking him to support the DREAM Act. And I got a letter, asking me to go to immigration court on December 29, 2010, just a few days after the DREAM Act failed. And so I remember when I was, logging in Congress, talking to legislators, staffers, I had my letter, asked me to my court letter in hand, and I would go to office, tell them, look, if the dream doesn't pass, I'm just going to clean out, and I'm going to go to. So that was obviously there was such urgency, and in a way, I was really nervous and not sure what's going to happen with me after December. It's really intense. But, eventually those charges were dropped, my deportation was canceled. And so my family was really happy, and I was in a way happy, but also like knowing that there's definitely the case for a lot of people. That was the case for my uncle who was deported 2 years ago. That was the case for my cousin who was detained in Oklahoma last year. And another cousin who was detained for a month, just a couple months ago. And, he has a family who, they're all U.S. citizens, and he's the only one who's undocumented. So he's a family almost got separated. So
Lizbeth, I have to ask, because we're talking about deportations, and of course you've just shared your personal story. The Obama administration has presided over a record number of deportations, more than twice the number under President Bush. And of course, now it looks like the immigration bill that came out of the Senate is going to crack down even harder on border enforcement. There's going to be a path to citizenship for a limited number of people, and certainly not people that have already been deported. And that's the starting point. We don't know where it will go, if anywhere, in the House of Representatives. First of all, are you disappointed in President Obama? And would you support the immigration bill in its current form?
First of all, yes, I am very disappointed in President Obama. He actually in 2008, I was knocking on doors, I was lobbying, trying to get him elected, as my mom was going through a really tough time because her grandma was dying, and there was a woman to raise her. And, I wasn't with my family, I wasn't with my mom, and it was a very tough time because I was trying to get this man elected, thinking that, if he's president, we would get the dream, that we would get the CIR, and finally my mom would be able to go back home and, visit her family. And all we got was, a record number of cases, family situations, including mine. And would I support the term bill? Well, there are obviously a lot of concerns with the current version of the bill, and that's part of the reason why we're here, because we want to stress that debate. We want to make sure that we're not forgetting about the people who have been deported, especially young people like myself. We can't talk about family reunification. We can't talk about, helping undocumented folks when you're forgetting that there's all these people who could have benefited from an immigration reform had they not been deported, or had they not been forced to leave because of many circumstances.
It's such a good point, and I can personally say that I stand in solidarity with you. I'm the great grandchild of immigrants, and I don't know what it would have been like for them under the current regime, and I'm not sure that everyone came here legally then. Certainly, people were crowded on boats, and people died coming here. So it's my ancestors from Eastern Europe. But I just want to end on this note and ask you, for those of us who do stand in solidarity with you, very quickly, because we only have a few seconds left in this segment, what can people do to take action? I know that you're doing this as part of with the National Immigrant Youth Alliance, the NIA on Twitter. Should people go to that website?
Yes, you can visit our website. You can also like us on Facebook. We're actually posting a lot of updates on Facebook for the National Immigrant Youth Alliance. And there's actually several petitions that you can sign, and you can make calls to representatives asking them to bring them home, bring us home. Not just Marco, Lugo, and myself, but the other 5 dreamers that are coming home with us. People like Louise who left.
Well, absolutely, Lizbeth. Unfortunately, we have to leave it right there. But Lizbeth, have a safe journey back to the United States. We're thinking about you. We stand in solidarity, and we're encouraging everyone to call your member of Congress and take action. Visit the National Immigrant Youth Alliance on Facebook. Take Action News continues after this.